your dad, like, even though he like knew cars, he's making me die because he really didn't know cars.
No.
He's showing me with the duct tape, like duct taping shit back together. Hi, how are you?
Good.
Oh my God, first of all, I thought you were sisters because when I saw you on the grid, because you look so much like one another.
I told that. It's from when she was born. They're like, you can't clone, okay? It's illegal.
Well, first of all, I'm glad that you're here. And where are you from?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania, great. Well, first of all, there's a couple souls that I'm hearing from, but first of all, your father's here. So your dad passed. That would be your grandfather, correct?
Yes.
So know that, first of all, he's stepping forward on the other side because he said to me, Matt, he goes, can you please just let my daughter know that I'm here and that I'm with her? And first of all, when I'm connecting with this man had so many health issues here in this world when I'm speaking to him.
Sir.
I don't even know where to begin. And he's trying to tell me, like, Matt, he goes, you would not believe what my family had to go through here in this world. And right away, he's showing me, like, I felt when I'm connecting with your dad, like that he was tough as nails here in this world. Like nothing could kill him. When I'm speaking to him, he's showing me like infections going through his body. He's telling me when I'm connecting with him, like that he had heart trouble. It started to affect his heart. And like he talks about living through, I don't know if these were like mini heart attacks or heart attacks. He's telling me that literally his heart stopped a couple times and your father lived.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's here because your father goes like this. And I'm asking him, how did you live like this? And your father goes like this. He goes, I wasn't going anywhere until I was ready.
That was him. Oh my God.
That's literally what he says.
He's telling me that. And you know what's crazy? Your father used to whistle here in this world when I'm connecting with him because he's whistling to me. And you know what's so weird is sometimes souls will tell me some of the ways that they reach us and some of the things that you might not know. So for example, souls have really weird ways of reaching us and getting our attention. And sometimes we don't realize that it's them. Do you ever hear whistling or do you ever hear like someone whistling and no one's there?
Like in the wind.
That's your father. That's a sign from your dad.
Okay.
Because everybody is so used to when someone passes, oh, I'm looking for butterflies, dragonflies. Well, not every soul communicates like that. And your dad keeps saying, my daughter's going to tell you that she doesn't get signs to me. She's going to tell you that she doesn't see signs. He goes, tell her I friggin' whistle in heaven, he's telling me.
Sorry.
But you can understand that was his personality here in this world.
He was a jokester.
And he's even joking with me when I'm connecting. And your dad shows me that he loved cars here in the physical world when I'm speaking to him. Because he's in heaven and he's changing out these different cars when I'm connecting with him. He says, let my daughter know. He goes, I finally got it back up and running. So there was a car that was here that was like the ship box, he's telling me, that he could never get running. Do you understand that?
The Nova.
He's telling, I don't know what type of car it is. I don't know cars. I just know the dead.
Okay.
But I can tell you that he's got this car that's here. He's like, I just want my daughter to know. He's like, but I got it back up and running. But your dad, like, even though he like knew cars, he's making me die because he really didn't know cars.
No.
He's showing me with the duct tape, like duct taping shit back together. Do you understand that?
Yes, yes. A man of many means.
And he shows me like he goes, Matt, he goes, your father's going like this. Don't make fun of me. He goes, this is how I was. He goes, I got the job done. He goes, I did it my own way.
Yes.
And your father shows me, I don't know if you know this or not, but your dad just showed me his trunk. And do you remember his trunk in the car having tools in it?
Yes.
And like, that was like his little toolbox that he always used to like carry no matter where he went. And if something was needed fixing, that's where your dad would go. It's like, oh, let me check my trunk. Let me check my trunk. He's telling me.
He only had a few tools and that was all he needed.
Perfect. So know that one of the things that your dad is telling me is that he's coming through for you for one reason, to show you that he has not changed. Because your dad tells me that as much as he was sick here in this world, as much as you had to see him struggle and go through so many things, your dad wants to let you know in spirit that he is with you every single day. And more importantly, that he so treasures all the memories that you got to share with him when he was alive here in this world. What was so tough was this, is that even though your dad had all of these issues that were happening, his passing was unexpected here in this world.
Yeah.
And he shows me that one day he literally just died. Like I see that. I see him coding it. He talks about needing oxygen, about losing oxygen. Was that the moment that he went to the hospital? Because he's talking about having to go to the hospital, having to be transported.
Yes, he had to be transported from home.
Okay. And he says to me, that was the last time that you got to talk to him or see him.
Yes.
So meaning that you may have seen your dad afterwards, but he wasn't able to respond back to you or speak to you.
Yeah.
Your dad says to me, listen, don't be upset the way that I died. He keeps saying this to me. Like, you don't know your father. Like, your dad, he's micromanaging me. I've never seen a soul do this. Like, he's like, and he just said,
that. He was so good at that.
You know, your father said to me, he goes, Matt, say it twice. I'm like, I'm not saying it twice. She's got the message. And he says to me, he goes like this. I said, why? He says, because Matt, he goes, I want my daughter to know one thing. What she saw me go through here in this world, what she saw me experience, he says, I was living life up to the day that I died. He says, I chose to stay and fight here in this world. I chose to fight for every last hour, second, and minute that I had here in this world. So even though your dad at the end, you're so upset and you can't get out of your head, the ambulance pulling up and bringing your dad to the hospital.
I didn't want them to take him.
I'm going to tell you this. Your dad says to me, that was my choice. He says, I fought, I was fighting. So you need to know that. Your dad tells me this. You feel that by them taking him to the hospital, that's why he died. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
He tells me that, you would have rather have him at home, but your dad said, listen, I went out the way that I wanted to. I fought till the very end. So listen, at the end of the day, grief sometimes is caused by us, by our own feelings. We think that we know something when we don't. And your dad says to me, Matt, wanted to have every treatment known to man. That's what he tells me. I wanted to stick around. I wanted to fight. That's what he tells me.
Can I say something?
Yes.
He didn't want to go until he knew my gram would be taken care of.
At least that's the way I felt.
Because he left right after that.
What he tells me is this. He says to me that here in this world, he was not going to be the one to sit down and have a peaceful passing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he says to me that, listen, even if his wife was taken care of, even if he saw everything being done, it wasn't the way he was going to go out. That's what he tells me. So he says, you can.
It was his choice and the way he wanted to go.
Listen, he knows that, but you need to know that. Because
I know.
he tells me that you're still hanging on to that. So you need to hear that from his voice here and now.
I remember just holding his arm and everything that he was going through. Before he took that last breath, I watched him take that last breath, but I didn't want to disturb him in his moment because, as you said, he was a man of his own means. So I let him go.
Your dad tells me this. He says, Matt, he goes, I need to let my daughter know, thank you for respecting my decisions. But I loved my life so much that I don't want her to be upset. I don't want her to be mad. I don't want her to cry. He says, I don't want her to be any ounce of sad. He says, because I wasn't sad when I was here in this world. He says, I was thankful for every single moment that I got, and he wants you to know that. He also wants to thank you for keeping his hat. He tells me there was a hat that was kept here in this world. He says, and that was his favorite hat.
Yeah, I have it.
And what's so crazy is it still smells like him, he's telling me.
Oh, yeah.
And he says to me, Matt, he goes, they were just looking at it. So no, when you were just looking at your grandfather's hat, that's his way of letting you know on the other side. He knows that you kept that. He is okay. And he is safe and at peace.
Did he find Mom?
Absolutely. But that's not who's coming through. It's your dad who's here right now.
I just wanted to make sure that she made it okay.
You
Thank
already
you,
know
Dad.
that. He said to me that you told her in her ear before she died, go find dad.
I did.
So know that when you said that, of course they're together. And that's your dad's way of letting you know that he is at peace in spirit.
Thank you.
Is this your first time attending?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Oh, I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much for being part of this.
Thank you for helping me.
Oh, you're very welcome.